5 years, 5 long years of waiting, of wondering, of asking the same question over and over again. Is Conor McGregor ever coming back? On July 11th, 2026, at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. During International Fight Week, we finally got our answer. UFC 329. McGregor versus Holloway, the sequel 13 years in the making. Tonight we break down everything. The history, the stakes, the fighters, the fight itself, and what it all means for the future of MMA. Let's go. Let's go back to 2021. McGregor versus Poirier 3, Las Vegas. McGregor breaks his leg in the first round. Carried out of the octagon on a stretcher. That was the last time Conor McGregor competed in the UFC. 5 years, 2 surgeries, countless headlines, rumors of retirement, business ventures. Legal controversies, a boxing career teased and abandoned. But here's the thing about Conor McGregor. He has never in his entire life stayed down. From his early days in Dublin, fighting out of a gym with no money in his pocket, to becoming the first simultaneous 2-division champion in UFC history, this man has always found a way. The MMA world moved on without him. Topuria dethroned Volkanovski. Islam Makhachev cemented himself as the pound-for-pound king. A whole new generation of stars emerged, and McGregor watched, and waited and trained. His return was announced during Netflix's stream of MVP MMA 1 perfect trolling from Dana White. The MMA world went into a frenzy. Conor McGregor is back, and his opponent, the man he beat in his UFC debut back in 2013, Max Holloway. But 13 years is a long time, and Max Holloway is a very different fighter than the kid McGregor beat in 2013. Let's talk about Max Holloway. Because if you're sleeping on this man in 2026, you're making a massive mistake. 27 wins, 9 losses, former UFC featherweight champion, BMF title holder. One of the most durable, skilled, and entertaining fighters to ever step inside the octagon. He holds the record for most significant strikes landed in UFC history. Not in a division, all of UFC history. The man throws hands like a machine gun and just keeps coming. His record since that first McGregor fight? Incredible. He beat Brian Ortega. He beat Chan Sung Jung. He beat Calvin Kattar in one of the greatest performances in UFC history. He beat Justin Gaethje. Yes, Justin Gaethje, the man who just fought for the lightweight title at the White House. Holloway knocked him out, brutally. He's 34 years old, he's in his prime, he's motivated. He's been waiting for this rematch for 13 years. He said publicly, and I quote, "I intend to spoil McGregor's return with a highlight reel finish." This is not a tune-up fight for McGregor. This is a legitimate threat. And 79% of fans picking Holloway to win tells you everything about how the MMA community sees this matchup. The question isn't whether Holloway is dangerous. The question is, what version of McGregor shows up on July 11th? Now let's make the case for McGregor, because there is a case, a strong one. Conor McGregor at his best is the most dangerous striker in combat sports history, not just MMA. Combat sports? The 13-second knockout of Jose Aldo, 1 punch, the fastest finish in UFC title fight history. The double champion performance against Eddie Alvarez. McGregor dismantled a champion with speed, precision, and movement that nobody had seen at that weight. The Donald Cerrone fight in 2020. 40 seconds, shoulder strikes to the face, then ground and pound, done. When McGregor is right, he is absolutely terrifying. He comes into this fight at welterweight, 170 pounds, bigger than his natural featherweight frame, more power, more reach. He's 37 years old, that leg healed. He's been training for 5 years with one goal in mind, to come back and remind the world who he is. His striking at range is elite. His left hand is a weapon of mass destruction. And his mental strength, his ability to perform on the biggest stages in the world, is second to none. Islam Makhachev shared his prediction publicly. He believes McGregor has a tough matchup. Usman Nurmagomedov doubts McGregor will even show up. That's the doubt. That's the noise McGregor feeds off. And the official UFC stats back up McGregor's danger. 5.32 significant strikes per minute, 56.4% accuracy, a reach advantage of 5 inches over Holloway. This fight is not over before it starts. And anyone who tells you it is hasn't been watching Conor McGregor for the last 15 years. Okay, let's get tactical. How does this fight actually play out? McGregor's path to victory: keep it at range, use the reach advantage, land the left hand early, get Holloway out of his rhythm. One shot is all he needs. Holloway's path to victory: walk McGregor down, pressure, volume, don't let him settle, make it a war of attrition. Holloway lands 6.91 significant strikes per minute, more than McGregor. The key variable: cardio. McGregor has historically faded in championship rounds. His best performances have been explosive and early. Holloway is a 5-round machine. If this fight goes past round 2, Holloway becomes a significant favorite. If McGregor lands that left hand early, it could be over in 60 seconds. This is the razor's edge the whole fight balances on. McGregor is fighting at welterweight, a weight class he's never competed in at a UFC numbered event as a main event. Is that extra size an advantage, or will it slow him down? His footwork, his angles, his southpaw stance, these all create problems for Holloway that he hasn't faced before. But Holloway's output is relentless: 27 fights of MMA evolution. He is not the fighter McGregor knew in 2013. This fight could go any direction, and that uncertainty, that genuine 50-50 danger, is exactly what makes it unmissable. But McGregor versus Holloway isn't the only reason to tune into UFC 329. In the co-main event, Paddy Pimblett versus Benoit Saint-Denis at lightweight. Two of the most exciting fighters in the division. Pimblett, the Liverpudlian fan favorite, comes in as a -170 favorite. Saint-Denis is a physical freak who TKO'd Dan Hooker earlier this year. 73% of fans are picking Saint-Denis to win despite Pimblett being the favorite. Another fight where the result is far from guaranteed. Then you have Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Bautista at bantamweight. Sandhagen is one of the most skilled fighters in MMA. His footwork and striking are elite. Bautista is quietly on a winning streak. Gable Steveson, Olympic gold medalist, former WWE star, makes his UFC debut against Elisha Ellison at heavyweight. 97% of fans backing Steveson. The wrestling pedigree is real. 13 fights total on the card. International Fight Week in Las Vegas. T-Mobile Arena packed to the rafters. This is the biggest night in UFC since the White House card. I want to pause here, because this fight carries more weight than just a win or a loss. Conor McGregor is, without question, the most important figure in the history of MMA. Not just the best, the most important. He took a sport that was still struggling for mainstream acceptance and turned it into a global phenomenon. He sold out arenas. He drove pay-per-view records. He created a template for self-promotion that every fighter has copied since. He fought Floyd Mayweather in the biggest combat sports event in history. He became a billionaire entrepreneur. He transcended the sport entirely. But the last image the MMA world has of McGregor in the octagon is being carried out on a stretcher with a broken leg. That is not how legends are supposed to end. If he comes back and beats Holloway, even at 37, even at welterweight, the narrative is rewritten. He proved the doubters wrong. He came back when nobody believed he would, and he won. If he loses, he joins a long list of great fighters who came back one time too many. This fight is for his legacy. Every punch, every exchange, every second of that fight carries the weight of 15 years. That's what makes this the most emotionally charged fight in recent MMA history. Let's look at the domino effect. What happens after UFC 329? If McGregor wins, does he get a title shot? At welterweight, Leon Edwards and Shavkat Rakhmonov are at the top of the division. Does a McGregor win over Holloway, a featherweight fighting at 170, justify a title shot? Dana White would probably say yes. If Holloway wins, does he get a lightweight title shot? He's already beaten Geithch. A win over McGregor puts him right back in the conversation at 155. Meanwhile, Pimblett versus Saint-Denis could reshuffle the entire lightweight top 5 depending on who wins. And lurking in the background, Topuria just defended the lightweight belt at the White House. He said he's open to moving back down. Does a McGregor or Holloway win set up a mega fight at lightweight? The chess moves are already happening. July 11th is not just one night. It's the starting gun for the next chapter of UFC history. Here is the bottom line. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway 2 is not just a fight. It is a moment. It is the return of the biggest star in MMA history. It is 13 years of unfinished business. It is a 37-year-old man stepping back into the octagon after 5 years away to prove that his story isn't over. And standing across from him, Max Holloway, battle-tested, motivated, dangerous, every bit as hungry as the man in the other corner. On July 11th, 2026, Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. International Fight Week. I want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments right now. And if you want the full fight night breakdown and results video the moment UFC 329 is over, subscribe and hit the bell. We go live immediately after the last bell.